guys. Today I'm going to bring you some soft tissue work. We're going to really focus on our feet today. So the feet are so important. As we always say in kind of the movement industry, it starts from the ground up, all right? And so if your feet aren't able to move, it means that something up the kinetic change is going to have to do its part to overcompensate. So, really we're on our feet all the time, we're walking around, we're beating them up. So it's time to give our feet a little bit of love. And so what I love to use, use these little, what's called tuff balls. So here you can kind of see the tuff ball. You can get these at your local pet store. Also, you can use tennis balls, you can use lacrosse balls, anything that's round. The lacrosse balls, the only reason why I don't like using them versus like something like this is because you can't really get into the little grooves. There's so many bones in the feet, and there's so many intricacies to it. So really something like this can really get into some of those like smaller little grooves and spots. So again, this is the tuff ball. It's a little thing that you can get at the pet store or Amazon, obviously these days, because we're not really going out. But yeah, it's great stuff. Really great to really break up a lot of the tissue on the feet. And so really what I recommend is go at your own basically not pain tolerance, but almost like feel the tissue out, right? If you feel it's too much, we always say in our industry, especially at StretchWorks, less is more. Don't get greedy with the tissue. So really start to just ease into it, and then if you feel you can accentuate it or go a little bit further, go a little bit further. But breathing's super important. If you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going through it, next thing you know, I'm holding my breath, that's typically a good sign that you might want to kind of push back a little bit, right? So hold off, don't put so much weight on. Really what can make it either impact it more or say take away as far as the tension is how much weight you put on it. So we're going to use this on the ground. The best form of that you can kind of see is if say my hand is my foot, is really just going through, up and down like that, the foot, on the ground, just rolling it up and down. Maybe do about like 5 to 10 passes, just kind of massaging it out, warming up the tissue, as we say, giving it a little bit of love. And then we're going to go side to side. So just like that. So going kind of in like this nice little S pattern, down, all the way down to the heel, give that heel some love, and then all the way back up, right? And then the last one is we're just gonna kind of just do some random patterns, right? So just kind of get around there, feel if you feel any kind of like more tension related spots where it feel a little bit tighter, maybe hang out there a little bit. Maybe you hold it, breathe into it. So on the exhale, maybe you put a little bit of pressure into it and then back off, or maybe even just do a little circumduction around there. Whatever you feel is necessary, just kind of play around with it. The idea is to really give that foot some love today, and that you'd be surprised how much it can really impact all the way up the chain, from your knees to your hips to even like your back, and sometimes, believe it or not, your head. So often or not, we find in kind of stretch works that a lot of times if you kind of focus on the feet, it can take care of some of the issues that are happening at the knee or the hip or even the back. So go ahead and enjoy this. I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of what I do as far as help with the feet, but give it a try at home. Again, the golf ball, this works. I try not to go a little bigger. Bigger might be a little bit easier, but this can kind of really get into those grooves. So again, if you got questions, put them in the comment section. We'd be happy to help you out. But let's go ahead and give our feet a little love today. So we're going to start with my left one. What I like to do is to kind of help with the tension, is I'm going to hold on to something. So you can use a chair, you can use, like I got a table here, you can do your bed. You want a harder surface on the bottom, but this is going to require you to either have socks or you can go bare feet, whatever you feel most comfortable. So really, again, the tension is how much you decide to put on that side, right? So if you keep that leg straight, you can stay upright. And then really, again, it's just going back and forth. So it does require a little bit of balance, but just, kind of search back and forth on those grooves. Mine are super tight, so this is really good because I really could use this love on my feet. All the way up to the toes, getting those grooves. So we're going back and forth. Maybe about, like I said, 10 passes. You'll start to feel like, oh man, this is pretty tough, right? And some of the things that you start to feel is like, wow, I didn't even realize how tight my feet are. But you think about it, you use them every day, right? At least most of you. So, maybe not so much right now because we're all quarantined, but still, this is an opportunity for you guys to really give some love to these guys. And, if you've got questions, we'd be happy to help. So we're going to go back and forth. Then we're going to switch it up. So now we're going to go side to side. So, right, so now we're just going to go side to side Nice and easy, just open it up. Again, you can increase the tension if you want, right? And sometimes it helps just to move the foot forward because it helps. It doesn't have to stay in place, the ball. Yeah, we're just playing around here, looking at those grooves. You know, you can keep the knee bent if you want, or you can keep it straight, whatever is most comfortable. And really, it's just kind of exploring. You know, that's what the body's all about when it comes to stretching or mobility work or even soft tissue work. It's just explore your body, understand what it's feeling like, what your body's interpreting to your mind as far as what these sensations are, and really just explore. You know, a lot of times when people stretch, what they do, they really just sit on one area, and that's not the best thing. You know, when you stretch hamstrings or you stretch quad, it's like, hey, I'm just going to stretch it in one dimension. No, it's three-dimensional creatures here, right? We move in all three planes, and our tissue operates in all three planes. So it's best to give love in all three planes. So yeah, so now I've done that all. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of that search, right? So I've kind of gone 10 passes. Now we're just going to do some random searches. And as we get in those searches, ooh, like this one right here, right at that, right below the big toe there, I'm feeling a lot of tension. And this is really a good spot that you could kind of focus on. A lot of you, I bet, are probably tight here, even into the groove, right? So the arches of your foot, man, those can really, really, really be super sensitive. So again, if you feel like it's too much, just hold back. Don't put as much weight. So again, shift more weight into the right foot here, or if you're on the left, in the left foot. So yeah, this feels good. Good, and just random. So again, if you feel a spot, just hold it in there. You know, sometimes just take a couple deep breaths. You know, you can even shift the hips, right? Just to kind of get some of that, like, almost nice little massaging into that area. Right, you can kind of move the hips a little bit, and that'll do what we call circumduction, right? It forces the foot to kind of move so you can get those spots. Yeah, this is where you can explore, right? You know, using kind of shifting left to right or even forward back, and that kind of just changes, you know? Wow, this feels so good. I could use some of this. So yeah, just give yourself some love. So what I would just recommend is, you know, about 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes on each side. See how you feel. Again, you know, if you're using a golf ball, it might be a little bit more intense because it's, you know, not as forgiving. The reason why I like the tough ball is it gives a little bit. You know, it's not so rough and rigid. But if say your feet can handle it, the golf ball is sufficient. But I recommend getting out there and getting a tough ball or having one delivered, or, you know, again, if you can use the golf ball for now, just ease up a little bit on it, you know, if that's all you've got. I'm sure some of you guys have something lying around. So yeah, just up and down, just kind of warming up my right side now. Yeah, this feels good. Can't wait for you guys to try it. Oof. And let that foot fold too. Don't be so stiff with it. A lot of times, like, you feel when you're rolling stuff, it's like you're trying to tense up. And if you feel that sensation, you're tensing up down there, it's probably a good sign. Again, another indicator of you probably want to just back up that tension a little bit. So here I am. Now I'm gonna go side to side, give myself some room, just like that. Perfect. Yeah, good. And make sure you're breathing. Don't hold your breath. You know, you can slow it down. You don't have to go so fast. You can kind of just explore a little bit too, you know. Or if you want to increase it, you know, just really warm up that tissue, you can. And so now, I've done a few passes. I'm just kind of short. Now we're going to do that randomization, right? So again, you can stand up, good posture. You know, feeling those grooves, and oh man, those arches really get me every time. And again, right underneath that big toe. Ooh. Wow, feels good. So again, you can hold, you can switch, pivot those hips, even turn, and that really will get into those grooves of all those little bones down there. Wow. Well, hopefully you guys learned a little bit. I'm gonna cut this short, but yeah, you guys kind of figure out what this is and give it a try. And if you have any questions, again, put some comments down there. I'll be happy to answer them. I use this a lot, especially with a lot of my clients, to really focus on just opening up some of that tissue down at the foot. So it's time to give those you know, feet a little bit more love today, and hopefully you learned a little bit and you enjoyed, and you're on your way to improving your health. So stay safe, stay healthy, and let's support each other, all right? So good luck.
you.